Hi, this is your host, Woody Landeros. You're listening to Shut Up and Fail. Today I am here with Ninesem, Latino recording artist. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So my name is Ninesem. Most people typically call me Nine, and yeah, I'm a Latino recording artist from Silmar, California.
Nice. So I want to, before we kind of get into the whole failure story and everything, I wanted to really share with other people why I, brought him on to this podcast. He is a artist, and he has admitted to failure, and he has emailed me and said, I went through this and that. And I think it's really important for artists to understand their downfalls so that when they're going up, they really realize, this is what created the person that I am. And I think that it's pretty apparent, pretty transparent that this is what has made him, really.
Yeah.
It's awesome saying that. So I think we should just jump right into it.
Okay.
You had emailed me that you were not fully committed, and I really wanted to figure out, at what point were you committed? When did you realize? Was there ever a moment in time?
I think I realized that I wanted to fully commit myself as an artist when I put out a couple songs and I really started to get the attention from some people, and they really told me that they could really relate to what I was speaking about, or that I really stood out from other artists that they saw in my city. And then that pretty much motivated me to stick to what I was doing, and then just keep pushing that style or that material that I was really catching attention on. So, and then that's when I decided, you know what, let's do a project.
Yeah, that's what I just told him about making bilingual songs. I think that I was so impressed by seeing that, just because I think a lot of people shy away from doing the bilingual content, and it's maybe they don't want this, but I think I thought it was dope.
Thank you.
I thought it was sick. And then also just the way that you flow. Some of the songs that I really liked, I wrote them down. I know I'm looking down, but it's 5:42 a.m. That was really cool because I used to have a music group called Till 4 a.m. And it was pretty much whatever you're doing till 4 a.m. is what you should be doing for the rest of your life. So I saw 5:42 a.m. and then I was just listening to it, and your flow is just perfect. If you guys haven't heard it, go ahead and just get out of this podcast and just go down. The link is going to be in the description. Go ahead and check out that song, and then come back and we can continue the podcast. And then another one is All Right, and Seems Like. Just flawless pieces of material.
Thank you.
I really do want to make a couple of dance videos, or just random content.
Yeah,
to
that'd
those
be
songs.
awesome. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So what type of things do you like to rap about, or where are you? What are you mostly inspired by when you make these tracks? Because for me, when I'm making art, I'm always pulling from different things in my life. But what really inspires you to create the things that you created?
Most of the time, it's just pretty much things I see or things I go through. I talk a lot about my family, a lot about our history. My family comes from a background where music wasn't such a great idea. It's not your typical career. It's not your typical job. My parents were immigrants, so when they came here, they're a bunch of hard workers. It's not so easy to pursue a dream and be an independent business owner or something like that. So, it was difficult when I first got started. But, my family, despite the fact that at first they were the ones that were kind of holding me back, they're the ones I do it for. I want to prove them that, somebody in our family can really pursue their dreams and do what they want.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to immigrant parents or people that come over, is that they have this fear, and they also have this huge love for their children.
Yeah.
So just hearing that, I always hear a bunch of for me, my Hispanic friends are always my mom is stressing about me going to college because they know that that's the only route, and that's
exactly.
That's the place to go, and that's how you get rich.
Yeah.
And I think when we choose something else, and they're why are you playing around? Don't mess around with the opportunities that we've given you.
Yeah.
But really, being here in America, that's the opportunity that you have. That's the it's the gift that we have, right, to be able to create and do whatever the hell we want to do.
Exactly.
So I think it's awesome that you're doing that, and it is scary. I think even just being a parent, I would probably react the same way if I went through the same things.
Yeah, I think the main reason would be mainly because you would hate to see your kid get their hopes up and not achieve what they wanted to do, you know. And I mean, of course, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like you gotta have faith, you gotta have hope, and you just gotta support each other.
Yeah. And so, what did they do?
For my parents, they don't really help contribute too much, but I know they support me. Before, they kind of like when I would tell them I'm going to the studio to record, they'd be like, again?
Yeah.
Like, you were just in the studio. But it's like they didn't understand that this was something I wanted to do repeatedly and constantly. I guess they saw it more as a hobby at the beginning, but they started catching on, you know, when like I started spending more money, and then they started understanding that I'm getting guitar players and I'm getting like singers on the songs. It's more than just like a hobby now. So it's really taking it serious.
So would you say that it was a pretty much like side by side? How would I say it? What is it called when two things are aligned? I don't know.
Sure.
Well, like so on one side, you weren't fully invested, and on another side, they were kind of, you know, a bit scared about what you're doing. And then would you say that when you were fully invested, then those sort of fears started like going away, or they started saying like, okay, we see what you're doing?
Yeah, I definitely feel the support from my dad more now. Like when I tell him, oh, I'm gonna go do a video for somebody, or like when it's contributing to somebody else's work, or sometimes somebody helps me out, and I can tell by his reaction, you know, like, oh really? Oh, that's great. Yeah, go ahead, do whatever you need to do, you know. And like I really respect that, because it wasn't always like that before. It was like why are you gonna do that? Why are you gonna go hang out with these people? You know, like there's other things to do. You got school, you got homework or something. You know, because for a long time, I was doing music and going to school. You know, I was trying to balance both work, go to school, and make music. And it was real time consuming. And it's like making music is stressful itself. You know, being an artist is stressful itself, and then having to deal with like school and having to keep up with the schedules and due dates, having to turn in stuff. It's like it's overwhelming. So yeah, like I told my mom, you know, I'm gonna take a break from school and then just try to focus on music. And once I did that, that's when I really gave my all to music, and I realized, you know what, if I really do take this serious, and I could really do it, you know.
Yeah. So you said making music is stressful. I think that's very interesting to me, because making videos for me is the most stress relieving thing ever, but it's also the most stressful thing.
Yeah.
Like I know why it's stressful to me, but why is making music stressful to you?
Making music is stressful to me because I really want the message to be portrayed in certain specific ways. Like it could be by the way I say it, it could be by the words I use. Sometimes a line might be too short, so then I need to fit in an extra word or something. It's all about like the flow of the lyrics. So when it comes to that, if it's not flowing the right way, I'll get frustrated, and then I'll have to move things around. And if you change one line, then the line before that might not make sense. It might not connect. So then, you know, it creates an issue. Sometimes that can get stressful. Sometimes it's also just finding the right beat. You know, sometimes you can't find the emotion that you're feeling in the right song to put whatever it is you want to write about on. You know, it's just not there. So sometimes, you know, you'll walk away, which I often do. I walk away, but you know, I'll go outside, I'll go to the gym or something, come back, and get right back to it. You know, sometimes you need a break.
Yeah, definitely. Walk away, just try to like visualize everything, and just sometimes it's even good to not even visualize anything, just to flush it all out and then come back on a clean slate.
Yeah.
What was the most stressful song that you've ever recorded?
I think I'd say Fade Away, which seems to be my most popular one, because it's about this girl that I met on my trip to Maryland a couple summers back. And it touches base on basically how we met and how I came back to California and we were going to stay in touch. I think that's just one of the most stressful ones to put out, because at the same time I'm like, you know, it's real, it's deep, and then like it shows your soft side, you know. And at first I kind of didn't want to do it, but a lot of people really liked the song, and I was like, you know what, let's go for it. It's real. You know, I experienced it and people loved it. So even though despite the fact that it was one of the most stressful ones, especially when it came to mixing it, um, it's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. So I have a playlist in my YouTube channel called Breaking Walls, in which I'll link up right here on the little tab or whatever. And it's really stressful to me because what it is, it's breaking the fourth wall between the YouTuber and the YouTube viewer. Mm-hmm. So I tell like different stories about like stories that I normally wouldn't tell, and it's always those ones that have the complete have that vulnerable experience of like really showing who I am inside, and talking about even times that I've cried or times that I've gotten frustrated. And those are the ones that have gotten the best reviews back. So I think that like a huge lesson with hearing about your story and hear about this is that when you are transparent as an artist, that's when you really bring in the people that can relate to you.
Yeah,
like that's where the relatability happens. Like we think that our frustrations or our downfalls or the different things that we go through are just like us, but in reality, like you're going through something right now, I'm going through something right now. Everyone's going through something, and when we can relate to that and we can speak to those hearts, then it's like,
It's crazy. I was just talking to one of my friends, Severino. We were touching on the topic how you're a good artist when people are singing along to your songs, crying to your songs. And it's crazy to even know that you can touch somebody's heart, with what you write, with what you sing. It's crazy. And then you hearing it from them themselves, like, like I had a relationship like that, that I experienced the same thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I haven't gotten anybody crying to any of my stuff, but definitely saying like, oh, that, just like being a dancer, like, oh, that really inspired me to start dancing. So like, I can completely relate to that. That's awesome. On the email that you sent me, you sent me two failures. One was that you were not fully invested, and I again 100% relate to that because all of this stuff hasn't happened. Like this is maybe a year and a half in the works, like doing podcasts and videos and stuff. But before that, I don't think I took video that seriously. So that was a huge highlight on the email that I was like, I need to have them on there because I want to be able to talk about that. And another one was copyright issues.
Yeah.
Let's just start from the basis how you started out making music and how copyright issues were a big issue.
So as a rapper, one of like the first things you do is you go to YouTube, find a beat, download it, and you write to it. So what ended up happening, it started catching up to me was I started uploading music and it started getting taken down, and it was due to copyright issues. And eventually I got tired of it, and my engineer William, he told me, the next step to doing that and to avoiding that is pretty much buying your beats, leasing your beats. And if you get track outs, then that means you could manipulate each instrumentation to where it sounds different. And like once I realized that, it's like, okay, right? Copyrights, it's not gonna get taken down. It's different. It's its own sound. So
yeah,
that's like when you really start to take it serious and you're willing to invest in yourself, and you do it. You want to create your own sound. You want to create something unique.
Yeah, I pay, I believe, $200 on Artlist just so I can have copyright-free music for all my videos. But in the beginning, I was just grabbing like most popular songs by any artist, and I would get all my videos taken down or limited in certain countries.
Yeah,
and it's just like, dang, all that work was for like nothing pretty much. But then like it kind of goes along with that whole like taking yourself seriously or really investing into your craft, and then realizing that you do need to go through all those legal things. Like at the end of the day, like we're just having a conversation, but before this, I had you sign a contract. Like,
exactly.
It's a must. Like we need to go through the legal things first. And I recently posted a dance video by James Blake, and it's still linked. I can go and link it, but there's no audio because it got stripped from the actual video.
Oh man.
So like, I just don't know how to go through with it with being a dancer, but I know with being a music artist, it's really serious. They'll just, they'll either take all the, the ad revenue from it, or they'll just
take it down.
Take it down completely.
Yeah. And I don't know how you could avoid either one. So it's like, I guess sometimes you could submit like a claim or something saying that you're using it for some certain reason, but I mean, for the most part, they won't allow it.
Yeah.
So,
how many songs do you think you've gotten taken down?
I think after 4 or 5, I just stopped. You know, I got tired of it. I was like, you know, it's not worth it. Why am I even gonna try?
Did you get angry with it?
Yeah, I mean, I got angry at it. You know, just like, what can you do? I mean, but then there's SoundCloud. So then SoundCloud, you know, started working out. But that only worked out for so long. It's like YouTube. You know, YouTube's the thing right now. So you really need to have your music on YouTube.
Yeah, and then if you click the link in your Instagram, what's your Instagram, by the way? Before
username, it's Ninesem NINESEM_.
And if you click on the link in his bio, you'll see like he has everything on Spotify, on Apple Music, on what other ones? There was like 2 or 3 more.
Any streaming platform, Tidal, Deezer. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, you see, so like even with Spotify, like Spotify artists, like I used to listen to Spotify all the time, and then like I got what is that? No, not Spotify. SoundCloud. I used to listen to SoundCloud a lot, and then I got Spotify. Am I saying it right? Spotify?
Yeah. Spotify is the green one.
Okay. I'm drawing a blank right now, man. So I now I listen to Spotify, and it was way more convenient. Like I already listened to pretty much all your songs, and if you were just on SoundCloud, I would have maybe listened to one. So everybody has different streaming platforms.
Spotify is great. I like to touch on the subject of Spotify because I feel like it sheds light on a lot of independent upcoming artists. SoundCloud is a great platform, but you got to understand, SoundCloud has DJs, SoundCloud has producers. There's a lot of more than just like an actual song. And then Spotify really sheds light on, you know, the independent artists. So I feel like that's really cool. I've actually encountered a bunch of new artists that on my library, you know, just from Spotify, just on the random playlist, you know, just going through the music.
How I see SoundCloud, and correct me if I'm saying something wrong because apparently I'm drawing blanks.
That's right, SoundCloud.
When I see artists on SoundCloud, I think I get mixed up because I feel like SoundCloud is like artists supporting other artists, but then you don't have like the average consumer, and Spotify is that average consumer to say like, oh, I'm on one of the biggest platforms ever. Yeah. And so for them to download like a SoundCloud app, sometimes it's not as convenient. So I think that conveniency really comes into play when you have your music on Spotify.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think as an independent artist, it again, it has to do with like investing in yourself because SoundCloud is free. You know, you upload your music free and it's streamable for people for free. But then Spotify, Apple Music, you know, there's a membership that goes to it. People got to have a membership to hear it on there. Yeah. And then so that's like the difference, you know, between the people that would just want to hear whatever's out there and then the people that want to check out like these people who are really working on their craft and really making their music so that they sound good on Apple Music, Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you have people pay for something, then they're actually going to take it a little bit more seriously too.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like, I mean, you're taking stuff, I guess you're taking money where you could be spending elsewhere and you're really investing in a craft, you know, and it's like, it just shows people take it serious. I remember when I first got started, I wasn't doing that, and then people, you just get the attention, you know, people don't take you serious. Like, people don't think you're a serious musician or a serious artist or whatever it is you do, but the moment you start putting money into yourself, you know, and people see the sacrifices, you know, you're not here because you're over at home or you're over at the studio just working, then they start understanding, like, okay, he's taking this serious.
Yeah. You've, throughout the podcast, you've said investing in yourself when you put your money into your craft. Yeah. What type of things you say, like what have you invested in yourself?
The way I say invest, so I use the word invest, and because I feel like you got to invest money and time, which time is the most important thing, but of course it takes money too. I invested beats, I invest in studio time, I invest in my designs, I invest in the programs that it takes to make my designs, equipment, you know, there's a lot of stuff that go into it. Yeah. And then as a musician, you know, even clothes, sometimes you got to buy some clothes, you know, you're going to go somewhere or you're going to do a video. You're shooting the video, you got to pay the location, you got to pay the person doing the video. It takes a lot, you know, and then that comes out of your own pocket when you're an independent artist. So you know, it's not easy. Sometimes you got to put stuff aside. You gotta plan accordingly, because you can't just do everything at once, because your pocket's not built like that, you know? So
definitely. I'm actually repping one of my own t-shirts.
Sweet.
And I wore it because I liked what you said. Everything when you were talking to me on Instagram and on the email is it says, if not now, then when?
Yeah.
So I think that matched perfectly with, you know, this entire podcast. And then also I think I asked that question so that you can talk about the graphic designing. I think it's important to show other artists that you really have to be a jack of all trades to be able to make it as an artist now.
Yeah.
Or you have to have a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And be able to pay a filmer and be able to pay a photographer. But like me, I'm my own filmer. I'm my own photographer. I'm my own sound engineer.
Exactly.
I'm my own recorder. Like.
Yeah, that's the same. I'm the same. You know, I didn't have the money for it when I first started making music, so I started learning. I told myself, you know what, if I can't pay somebody to do it, I'm gonna learn how to do it, and we're gonna get things done. And sure enough,
it takes, man.
Sure enough, I got myself a camera, started learning how to work the camera, and now I got people asking me to shoot videos for them, you know, and it started off just shooting my own. So it's crazy.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think we pretty much talked about the entire failure story, and I'm really pleased to have you on the podcast. Seriously, thank you for driving.
It's a pleasure to be
here. How long did you drive?
It was like an hour 20-minute drive.
Yeah, so hour and 20 minutes, guys. Like that. Yeah, just thank you. Seriously.
Thank you for having me here.
If you have any sort of like tags, any shout outs that you want to do, the mic is all yours.
Yeah, if you guys, I do have an album out. It's called Player's Curse. If you want to go check it out, you can search me up on Apple Music, Spotify. It's Ninesem, Ninesem. And yeah, I'll be dropping some more music soon. I also just dropped a single. It's called Malibu. It's my first bilingual song. So if you guys want to go check that out, go ahead.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening.